You're listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life, hosted by TravCon. Welcome back to the Traveler Minute. With me is Anna Wilkinson, who we heard from on our last episode of the Traveler Minute, and we talked about a variety of different assignments that she's done, crazy assignments, getting COVID, treating people with COVID, and how she got into traveling from being a staff nurse. In this episode, we're going to touch on the medical missions that Anna's done over the past few years. She's an avid supporter of medical missions. She goes whenever she can, and she's done quite a few variety ones that she keeps coming back to. So thank you again for joining us, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to hear how you got into medical missions. It's something I've always wanted to do and I haven't started yet, haven't had the courage to dip my toe in. What was your first medical mission and how did it happen?
Oh my goodness. Our first medical mission was to Nepal, actually. That was our honeymoon.
You took your husband on it.
Oh yeah. If I could, my husband would go on all of them, but someone has to stay home with the kids, whatever. Right. But yeah, we went to India, Nepal, and Thailand. And Nepal was where we were going to do our medical mission. That was 5 weeks. And we also pressed upon India a little bit, but not as much as Nepal. So that's what happened. So my husband said, hey, I have a friend who did a medical mission in Nepal. Let's go with the same agency. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm one of those people, like, if you set it up, I'm
Absolutely. Game. As long as I don't have to do the setup work, that's huge.
Exactly. And that's basically how we did my wedding. My husband set it all up and I just showed up. He said, let's go to Nepal. And I said, that's perfect. I really want to know about climate. Well, I wanted to know about going to Everest, what I wanted to know about. Wow. And so we did that as well. We did Everest Base Camp. But we spent 5 weeks there. And the last, I think, 2 weeks, there was a big riot going on. We picked the good ones, obviously.
You sure do.
And so nothing was supposed to be open. So it was crazy that they would kind of sneak us in to eat some food, and then they would hear everybody and they would close everything down. Everybody had to be quiet. It was just kind of crazy. I was like, oh my God, we're going to die, and it was insane. But yeah, Nepal was beautiful though. And what we did there is that we helped a school out. My husband was trying to do the plumbing and everything. And I was checking in all the students and doing a medical clearance from head to toe. So I would check if they had lice, check their mouth, if any lesions, head to toe. No doctor, just a nurse kind of doing it all, and write their name. Well, I actually told them to write their name because
crazy spellings.
So I would do, I don't know, that was like 400 people, try to get them all in. And then I would refer them like, that arm kind of doesn't look good. You need to go and see a doctor or get an x-ray. And so that's what I did. I was like their nurse in that hospital, in that school that they never had. They didn't even have like their names or anything. So I started all that and put them in files. And we did that for 5 weeks. And we also helped out in the orphanage. And I would do a head to toe kind of checking, all a health exam, basically head to toe. And until the big riots started going on. And so my husband said, well, let's go to Everest. Let's check it out. And I was
sure, why not? Right?
Do it.
No big deal.
Next. Right. So we took a flight there. Let me just tell you, that flight was crazy. I didn't even know how dip down, it goes up, it dips down. And what we found out is one of the worst, airports to land in. Is one of the top 3. It's crazy. And they just have a big stop painted so you had to stop or you run into the track, the walls. So I was like, where am I?
Yeah, exactly.
So we just had our backpacks on and it was an easy route. It's like everybody can tell, like, this is the way to go up to Everest Base Camp. And so we didn't have any Sherpas or anything. And we just kind of traveled all the way up. And my husband and I are competitive. My husband and I ran 40 miles just because we could and for the heck of it. And so we are pretty competitive with each other.
Sounds like you're quite compatible. Two pretty crazy people.
Yes.
What other missions have you done? I mean, that was your first, but you've done quite a few since then. Do you still use the same company, or do you?
This was a different company. We did Haiti. I actually knew a friend, a nurse that went, and she gave me the information of going to Haiti. And so we went to Haiti after the earthquake they had. And so we stayed there for about a week and a half, and that was intense as well.
I bet.
It's a 2-bed ER, and you had it, well, 2 seats ER, and it just circled all around the block everywhere, and it was open 24/7. So I was the day shift and my husband was the night shift, and we would just keep doing this, for 7 days. And it's incredible. After the earthquake, you think, oh, we've given them all this money, but things were not progressing, unfortunately. So
how was the team you worked with? I mean, wasn't it just yourself and your husband, or was there a full team that you had?
We had a full team, and that's what's so incredible, because
that's the enjoyable part.
Yes, all these people come from everywhere, and I'm still in contact with the people that I met. I actually went to her wedding a few years ago. It was just crazy how we're still in contact, because we got so close of just working together and getting to know each other. That's all you had,
right.
The language, there's a language barrier, obviously, but that's all you had. And you kind of were attracted to each other to help each other out. Like, you had to bring your IV. Well, you can't bring your tape and everything. So, you can rely on, do you have more tape? You're just pointing things, and your team is essential and it's what you have to know. It's like, without your team, you can't work. There's no
right.
I in team. It's a team that saves a life, and that's how you have to roll. If you want to be by yourself, this is not a place to go. And I feel like nurses understand that, because we are a team. We work so hard, and we know we know our strengths and we know our weaknesses. And so, especially when you're doing medical missions, you know what you can and cannot do.
Now, do you find medical missions could be just ER, ICU nurses, or can any discipline do it? Not just discipline, but any area, med surg nurses, tele, anybody?
Absolutely. There's people that don't have no medical background, but they can write down all the vitals that I say, 130/20, 130/80 or something. You don't have to have a medical background. My husband is an EMT, a paramedic actually, and he came along. And it's not all about nurses, it's EMTs, there's doctors, there's people not in the medical field, because we need a helping hand. We do.
So it's just the willingness, basically, the willingness to roll up your sleeves and dig in.
Yeah.
What company did you go with that sent you to Haiti?
Project Medishare.
Project Medishare. Okay. I'll put the link in the notes as well for anyone who wants to follow up with them. Where did you go after Haiti?
Let me think about this one. I went to the Dominican Republic. Oh, I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Such a great program. And that's who also does Kenya as well. And I just got so close. And I was actually referred there because of someone I met in Haiti who said, oh, I go to this I do this medical mission as well in February. And I was like, what's this medical? And that's how you start figuring out who works.
You get in the network. Yeah,
absolutely.
Does the same company organize the Kenya and Dominican Republic?
Yes.
Oh, good.
No, I'm sorry. No, Project Medishare is just for Haiti.
Okay.
And then the one who does Dominican Republic and Kenya is volunteer in Tennessee. And I'll make sure I said that correctly though. And they're amazing. Just because I was referred, and they already knew me coming in. They're like, oh, we know about you, Anna. And I was like, oh. And it was, it's just everybody comes there to do one thing, is to help someone,
Right.
to change someone's day. These people are extremely poor. They live on, I think it was $1.36 a month, really.
A month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Haitians in the DR, Dominican Republic. I mean, when you're out there, it's really, really poor. It's, we travel 3 hours, no, bus ride, 5 hours to a place close to the Haitian border, and then that's where we set up camp, basically, where we have a hotel room, or we set up, there's a big house that we have rooms that we're have roommates with. And then from there, the next day we go on a medical mission, and then we'll go an hour out of there to help people, because these people don't come into the city. They don't have money. Mm-hmm. So we're there to help them. Mm-hmm. So we'll travel an hour to 2 hours away from our base camp just to help people for 8 hours. And they literally wait there.
And all of this is organized, right? I mean, I wouldn't know sort of what to do, but there's someone who's organizing this, saying, okay, now today you're doing this and today you're doing this. So you can just kind of go at your job and do it, right?
Oh yeah. Once you get there, they'll plan it all out. And you'll be in contact with one of the people that will always talk to you. You can text them and telling them, I do OBGYN. Do you guys need any help? Oh, yes, we need women's services. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So we'll put you in this area, women's services. Oh, I do ER, I do trauma. Perfect. You'll go ahead and triage, and we'll also put you with the acute patients that come in. So it's not, it's like urgent care in a sense. Mm-hmm. But they come in their nicest dresses, the kids do, because they're seeing the doctor or Nurse Anna,
That's a big deal for them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're coming, and some of these people who've been doing this, they know the families. They're all, hey, Julian, hey, Juan. They all know, because they come back every year.
Right.
So they can see how well they're progressing. So it's nice. I really love it. I would do that for a living if I could.
We've had one of our regular speakers at the conference, and he's been every year, but he also runs his own medical missions, and it's called Project Helping Hands.
Oh, yes.
And he's gone in, his name's Jeff Solheim, and he's arranged so many medical missions over the years. I'll also put it in the notes for anyone listening, but that's also another one you reminded me of while we were talking about this. He's done a lot of medical missions right into the boonies. He actually did a presentation on it, and it was fascinating. It was fascinating on them trying to cross a river and getting stuck, and what do you do? And out comes the little boats just to take you across. And but the incredibly rewarding part of making such a difference in people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what is, for those listening, they've never done a medical mission before, but they're really interested in going, what would be your first couple steps that you would suggest they do?
Well, I would first Google them, because there's a lot of scams out there, a lot of scams in the sense that, hey, you just put your name on the list and then give us $150, before you, and there's plenty out there, unfortunately, that is kind of, because all we want to do is help, right? Because doing volunteer work is really you paying them to do your housing, do your transportation. It's not, you don't get money. You don't get paid to do this. You do it because you're willing in your heart. So I feel like there's some places that take advantage of that, and they'll put it up there and make sure that they are actually a legit company, and that you are not scammed.
So we'll make sure the ones that are listed in our notes below, Anna will have checked those, so we know that they are not. They are the legitimate ones. So check the notes for those.
Yes, and because I have been scammed before, and so it's just really now I'm just kind of, making sure. I reach out to people. Have you heard of this company? And so I know these companies are legit because I did it. And I know a lot of people are scared to do it. I did it myself as a woman. That going to Dominican Republic was the first time I did it by myself, not having my husband. You know, I'm a woman, and sometimes we do get taken advantage, right? But
Sure.
especially we don't know where we're kind of thrown into this, and but you want to help. Anyways, I felt completely comfortable going by myself. And on top of that, I felt when I got to the airport, they were there to greet me like, hey, Anna, we know you.
That's important. Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge because you're just kind of timid. Honestly, I was scared. I even told my husband, you're not with me? What? Oh. Yeah. What happens? Something happens. He's like, you're fine. And I was really scared as a woman. And so, but they were there to catch me and say, Anna, we're right here. Come on. And it worked out perfectly. So that's when I did Morocco, because I said, well, I could do Dominican Republic, send me to Morocco.
That'd be fascinating.
Oh, it was so lovely. I loved, back to the Dominican Republic. I also speak Spanish. So it was definitely, it was easier for me to understand them. I mean, they talk a little different with the voz, but I was able to communicate if something would happen in a sense. But then I went to Morocco on my own. I actually had another woman with me, my next door neighbor, and she said, let's go to Morocco. And I said, yes, but let me see if I can do a medical mission. And she was like, wait, what? And so I actually know people in Morocco, and he couldn't get me in the hospitals, nor could I take pictures. It's kind of their standard things. Morocco's different. You know, their culture is different than that I'm used to. Women can't dance, so I couldn't dance there.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know. And even like my guide was like, no. You only dance in your house with your girlfriends or with your husband, but not out in the open. And that's their culture. That's what they believe in. And I never ever wanted to, jeopardize that, because I believe, just go culture or not, that's why I'm there, is to help. I'm not there to do something different. But with that, I, with my friend, we went around different towns, and he kind of set up for me, people come in and talk to me about what they believe in as in holistically, which was a different view of when I'm doing, what is that called?
Western
medicine versus holistic. And it was extremely interesting, because I had stomach pain, and they were like, I have the perfect medicine for you. And I was like, oh, and they would mix all these herbs, and then they put some brown stuff in there, and they're like, drink. I was all,
yeah,
I'm good. But I tried it because I was like, okay. And
why not?
Yeah. And my stomach did really feel a lot better. It did. So I found out they do a lot of holistic things because they can't afford going to the doctors. And they actually believe in that more than, doing chemo or doing all this Western medicine. They say they're putting too much toxins in us. And so it was just very interesting that I had two worlds that I was interested in doing. And so I did that one on my own, and I was blessed that my neighbor was okay in doing that with me.
So this is cool. You've done quite a variety of them. What does one expect to pay when you're doing a medical mission?
Well, I'll give an example of the Dominican Republic. You have to pay your flight there and back. So just know that's, and then you probably have to, and then you have to pay the agency, the agency that you're going with, probably $100 to $300.
Okay. And
that's just covering your food, your transportation, and then on top of that, where you're living.
Okay.
It should not exceed more than that, especially if you're going to a third world country, right? Very little money goes so long. I mean, just $1 can last so long for them. So it shouldn't be that expensive. They're asking $4,000 or $5,000. Nope.
Okay.
Nope on a rope.
Good to know. Okay. So you're expected to pay for your flight. And this actually, we have mercy ships come to the conference every
Oh,
year.
so cool.
And they love travel nurses because the travel nurses are ideal. They do anything from 4 to 6 week assignments to 3 to 6 months to a year. They'll do any kind of combination that you're willing to do. And they mentioned also that you do need to fly there and back. And then, they pretty much you probably, like you say, have to pay a small fee, but they take care of everything else. I mean, everything is provided once you're there, including your security,
Absolutely.
because sometimes they're parked off of some unstable areas per se.
No, absolutely. Especially when you don't know where. That was me in Morocco. I didn't know, I didn't know where I was, or I didn't speak the language. I didn't know. I tried to catch up on their culture and everything. And you can tell that when the tourists were there, that they were definitely tourists because they're wearing short shorts, showing a lot of skin, and that's not their culture. So
Right.
they
You have to
definitely
be cognizant of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
The other thing I remember that mercy ships, when I talked to them, they said, just like you said, it doesn't matter what your training is. We have a job for you.
There's something there.
And there's something there. Whether you are medically trained or not, if you're medically trained, great, but bring your non-medically trained friend or spouse with you, because they even said your husband's almost more valuable than you are because he can fix things, and he's handy with pipes and putting building stuff and just being useful anywhere. Yeah. So know that if you don't want to do it alone and you've got a friend or a spouse that's willing to go, they're usually quite happy to let them come, right?
Absolutely. Mercy ships I would love to do that. Unfortunately I have kids, and so we can't do that much, but I highly suggest mercy ships if you want to do 2 to 4 weeks, or even go longer if you want to, and make it make it something that you haven't done, get it off your bucket list or something.
It's definitely on my bucket list. And you will find, if anyone's coming to the conference, you will find them at the conference this year. They said they're coming, so we're looking forward to seeing them there.
Yeah. Oh, so jealous. Yes.
So that is fantastic. We'll make sure that there's a list of approved non-scammed companies in the list there that people can look up. Do your research in advance. Know that you have to do some upfront costs, but the cultural experiences that you get out of it are just invaluable.
It's mind-blowing. It really is. And it's dear to my heart 100%. And I would do this for a living if I could afford that.
What is the typical time have you found that they want you to commit to? Does it need to be 4 weeks or?
No, 1 week usually is.
1 week?
Yeah, usually 1 week. If you can do 1 week, that's great. Especially the one that I did in the DR is 1 week.
That's fantastic. I could totally do that with my schedule.
That's what I'm saying. People can do this. They really can. And it's okay to be scared. You just have to lunge and go. And it's amazing what you get out of it. I think I know that medical missions make me a better person, and it makes me a better nurse. 110%. Yep.
And travelers are ideally suited for it because many travelers take a couple of weeks off between assignments, maybe 2-3 weeks. That's about as much as you can afford to take time off. That's a perfect time, arrange for a medical mission. And Absolutely. What a glorious opportunity.
You can go anywhere. Once you figure out one company, this is where you like going to Haiti or the DR, you right after it, you can go on vacation. The Dominican Republic.
Combine the two.
Yes. And a lot of my coworkers, when I went to the DR, that's what they did. They did 1 week, and then they're on vacation in the beautiful sandy waters, in the city. And you could do that. Absolutely. You could do that in Morocco or Haiti or wherever you're going. I didn't do that, but I had to go. But it's, you can make it something.
Yeah.
I highly suggest every traveling nurse to do this. I think it makes you a better person, 100%. And it makes you a better nurse because you get all these ideas from everyone. And
so many different destinations you can choose from.
I'm trying to go to India now, so we'll see.
Wow. You got a lot of courage, girl.
Oh, bring it. That's what I said.
One thing that I remember one thing I remember reading on your website, because you have a blog page, right?
I do. Yeah, I do.
And you like to raise awareness for a variety of things. What are some of the things you like to raise awareness for? This is your shout out.
Oh, well, I do ultra marathons. It's not because I love to run. It's because I feel that I could bring awareness to different cancers and diseases. Why ultra marathons? Because people run marathons, but I do an ultra. So I feel like I do a little bit more.
Oh, good Lord.
And that's how I kind of started my own thing, is that I'll pick a disease or a cancer. My first one was glioblastoma. That's brain cancer. And I decided that I'm going to do an ultramarathon for that. Not because one of my friends' mother died from it, but a lot of people don't know what that is. And if I can bring awareness and to, I'd like to say everywhere, then it's one thing we can save lives. So that's my thing. Oh, you have seizures. Wonder what that is. Let's do an MRI. Let's figure this out, instead of like not doing anything about it. That's what I love to do, is bring awareness to my community. And I do it by running. And I'm not sponsored at all. I just put on my running shoes and I'll finish. I'm not first place at all. I did get third place on one of them. But anyways, I think that was a mistake.
Amazing. Now, somebody wants to follow you. You're on Instagram?
Instagram is the way to follow me. Yes.
Okay. And what's your tag? I'm sorry, I don't even.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's just my name. It's at anna.wilkinson.rn. Yeah.
Perfect. That'll be in the show notes. And then your blog, what's your website?
annawilkinson.com.
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent.
One N, just one N. Okay. A lot of people are like, and I'm the dancing nurse. So a lot of people know me by that.
Excellent. So if you want to search, you can search for Anna Wilkinson, the dancing nurse, and you'll also find her on Instagram. Anna, thank you again for taking the time out to share your story with the fellow travelers. It's very inspirational. It would be amazing to see you at the TravCon this year. It's in September in Vegas. Oh. And you actually we had 1,500 people in 2019.
Wow.
So you get a chance to interact with the different companies that are in the exhibit hall with jobs, and mercy ships, but also all the different healthcare travelers and many of them keep coming back because it is a family reunion just for them. No other conference can bring this kind of group together in such a way. So we really would love to see you there, and
might see me there.
We look forward to following you online with all your adventures.
Yes, I'm excited. Hopefully India comes through for me. We'll see.
That's right. Take care, and you have a good year.
I will. You too. Look forward to hearing your podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life. You can find the full show notes below or at travcon.org. Please help us out by rating our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.